Brothers, I just want to show you what the potential is when you follow everything I say on this channel. And I'm not just going to sit here and gas it up. I'm going to show you clearly on screen the results of what happens when you follow my channel. This is one of 3 people I've now had send me before and afters from simply following the video. And this guy's from New Zealand. I'm technically from England, although I travel around everywhere. But this is great. Someone in the absolute depths of the earth can find the information, apply it, and get in great shape. This is powerful, powerful stuff, which just goes to show. And my videos can be a bit dry, and they are done with zero editing and Loom screen recording because A, that's how I can stay so consistent to post daily, but B, that's really all you need is just someone to sit down, tell you what to do, and give you the advice you can apply it. But let's go through his post here because this is a really nice before and after. And if you're a young lad, that can't really see any definition in shape, this is your potential. This is your potential. Like, even just look at the man's jawlines come out, veinage, abs, everything, the full 9 yards, and he looks infinitely better. So let's go through his post. He put this in our new community chat, which I'll mention in a minute. But let me just go through this. So he said, "Hey everyone, just want to share my quick breakdown of my transformation. My whole journey took around 16 weeks in total." So this is important because it gives you context and the time frame it took to get there. About 1 to 2 weeks figuring out my true maintenance, which what he's referring to there is you'll start a plan and you'll never really know if it is your true maintenance. Do you know how you'll find this data out? You'll run the plan for 7 days. You'll see what did your scale weight do off the amount of food you're eating, cardio you're doing, training you're doing, and steps you're doing. And if your scale weight's dropping, perfect, you are actually in a deficit. If your scale weight is up, then actually you're in a tiny bit of a surplus and you need to reduce some calories. And if your scale is at maintenance and it's not moved and the goal was to drop, then again, you need to drop off some feeding. 12 weeks cutting and then 4 weeks reverse dieting back up to maintenance to stabilize everything. This is honestly textbook, absolutely textbook. So you could say from the time it took him to get going, it took him 12 weeks to go from this to this, looking in absolutely incredible shape. And then he's reversed out correctly. I've done many videos on reverse dieting. It's actually the next module I'm building out here in this platform as well. So there'll be more detail on that. Back to stabilize everything. Just one on your reverse diet. When you do get to the goal, you don't finish the goal when you get the abs. You finish the goal when you've got the abs and you're eating at maintenance. That is when the goal is done, because that's when you won't like reverse all the progress you've made. You won't binge. When you just finish a cutting phase, you've got 2 hormones that are going to be slightly dysregulated. You've got leptin and ghrelin. Ghrelin is your hunger signaling to signal that you are hungry. Leptin is the signaling of like you are satiated and you don't really need any more food. But they will be slightly dysregulated when you eat, when you've been in a deficit for long enough. So you want to eat like good amounts of fibrous foods so that you're not eating really palatable foods that you can't stop eating. So on a reverse phase, add 200 calories in like the form of oats, potato, and even veggies. And then if you need to add protein and fats, add things like eggs in, because again, eggs, great food, great cholesterol inside the eggs. But if you eat the eggs, they're not that nice. Like, they're nice enough, sure, but they're not, oh, I can't stop eating eggs. No one ever said that, did they? I eat 10 eggs a day, and even I like it. They're all right. They're not fucking amazing. But that's how you want to eat just as you're reversing out. So remember, you're not done until you actually are back at maintenance. He said, I didn't do Tom's one-to-one coaching, which is you'd see that at the top link in the description. This is where I'd take people through and do this for them one-to-one. He said, I literally just followed Tom's advice from his YouTube videos and applied everything into my daily routine as best I could. I used a lot of his training principles and techniques and adopted the athlete mindset and focused on prioritizing activity first instead of instantly slashing calories. So there's 2 very long levers there that he spoke about which get the results that we do. I'll start with prioritizing activity first instead of slashing calories. This is one of my methods that I like to do because I've been on the other side where I've worked at a certain gym in the past and they just go low calorie really early. And I'm not a fan of this. I prefer to sit you just below maintenance, but get you to move more. Because I want to give your metabolism a fighting chance of getting back to a good space. Because a lot of you have eaten either really low calorie for a long period, you're not dropping off body fat because essentially your body doesn't really want to because it thinks it's in a state of survival. Or you've eaten low nutrients foods and high calorie, which just essentially means you've eaten a load of garbage, and then of course you're not going to your body's like, again, still in the same situation, like you're just low nutrient diet. Whereas I prefer to go keep your food nice and high, just below maintenance, high nutrient dense diet, plenty of fiber, coming from all the good foods that we know of. So we're thinking veggies, you need to be making sure you're having a spinach, broccoli, or a kale. Fruits, you need to be having pineapple, kiwi, or berries. And then, hello? Just been absolutely infiltrated there as someone's burst through the house that we're in. Anyway, for context, we're now in Cyprus at the minute, which is actually where my family's from. So we're doing a bit of time here, exploring around. But we're actually staying there. Obviously, I used to be in the army, so we're staying on a military base here. So guys just coming through, checking out the house. Obviously, soldiers burst straight through the door. So nice intro to the video there. Anyway, with the fruits, as we were saying, we want pineapple, kiwis, and berries, very nutrient dense. And then from your carb options, try and have oats and potatoes because they're going to carry the most amount of fiber and also the most amount of nutrients. So food high, cardio then has to go high, 20 minutes daily, heart rate 120 to 130, and then add 10 minutes every time you need to make a change. And then when you hit about 40 minutes daily, then start to pull from your food. And then that way you keep your food nice and high and you're able to keep performance in the gym high. So that's the tactic I like to use to get people to drop off body fat. And obviously, you've seen the amount of results we get, or if you're new to the channel, have a look at all the results that we get because we always do a video on them, and then you can see the proof's in the pudding. The next thing I want to speak about is the athlete mindset. So what I always say is an athlete is not a person, because you would look at this photo and think athlete. You look at this photo and think college student. But an athlete is not a person, nor is it an end outcome. And a great analogy of this is Nike do this very well. Their adverts and everything they put on Instagram is to get you feel like you are an athlete because you wear their clothing. What I say, and before I really looked at Nike, I thought, oh shit, yeah, that's actually what they do. I've said the athlete mindset is you can get, if I was to get a screen and they blur out the guys that are operating in a day-to-day, but you can see what they're doing. You can see how cool they got up at 6 a.m. Oh, they're out for steps, they're hydrating. There's an electrolyte tablet. There's they're in the gym training. Oh, here's them making like chicken and potatoes and spinach. And you can see them. They're like, oh, yeah, cool. They look like they're living an athlete lifestyle. But I then peel back the blur, and one of them is in 10% body fat, looks like an athlete. The other's 30% body fat, doesn't look anything like an athlete. You go, oh, no, he's the athlete. He's not. But that's not the case. The athlete is a way of living. It's not a person or an end outcome. It's you live like an athlete, the athlete mindset. And that really stems from what? Because you're not just going to wake up and do that. That stems from your mindset first. And what I always say is you need to become the man first to then gain his results, rather than trying to get the result as you currently. So if you right now try and follow a plan, it won't work. And it hasn't worked for a long period of time because you're you and you've got your own limiting beliefs. But if I were to say, right, I want you to now think you are an athlete. And I get the guys that join my first program, or in fact, and this one as well, to watch a lecture called How to Create the 2.0 version of you. And essentially it is how to create the athlete version of you as well. And what you do there is you get the physique you want. You think, what are his character traits? So if you look at this guy and think, what are his character traits? Well, he's going to have discipline, consistency, resilience, integrity with himself, which means when you say you're going to do something, you get it done. He's going to have good self-respect for himself, because when you're faced with difficult challenges, if you respect yourself, you're going to do the difficult thing because you value yourself. So you think, right, well, there is character traits that I need to live up by. And then how would he live a 24-hour period? Okay, well, I'll just create his routine within how he should live. And then you follow that, because it's very easy to act like someone else. Now, obviously, I said a few minutes ago, I used to be in the army. So I used to be a British paratrooper. But I didn't come out the womb a British paratrooper. I went to basic training as a civilian, but then I acted like a British paratrooper for 6 months straight in the training depot, and then I became a British paratrooper. You're going to do the same when it comes to getting in shape. You're going to act like the athlete, and then you're going to get the results of the athlete. You see the concept here? When I say it's like, oh yeah, but like no one ever really flips it and looks at it this way around. They almost try and go from, the analogy I like to use is, if you're here at A and you want to go to B, they'll go like this. Progress, until they just can't. They fall off, bang, and they're back to where they were at A. When the method I'm telling you to do here, in real simple terms, is instead of, there's a fucking wild cat just cutting through, motherfucker. Anyway, instead of going from A to B, you're going to act like you are already at B. That's how you get this result. If this cat is any fleas or something, I swear to God. Anyway, that is the athlete mindset. He said, I'm really grateful for the invite to the group, and honestly just want to show that if you take Tom's information seriously and share and apply it consistently, you can make a big change. Thanks for putting out such great content. It helped me more than you probably realise. And that's great to hear. And again, I turn up daily on this channel, and this is fucking, I will continue to turn up daily, and especially when I'm getting messages like this and people coming in condition like that. Very, very nice look. So that was the result that we got just from the videos. Just in context, if you're wondering about this new program I've created, this is one for guys who actually want to go at their own pace and don't want me one on the other end of their WhatsApp. So it's being built out at the minute. We have the first module in, $49 a month. And in the classroom section, which is now being built out, so we've got, first and foremost, the setup phase is done and ready. This is everything you need in order to get yourself set up, good to go, and making more than 90% of the progress. So this is 10 modules deep, along with all the training templates. So yeah, you've got links to the resources and then training templates here with all the links to your workout. And then what we've also done is linked like this to an app which just pops up as well. So you've got like 10 lectures straight away to get through. I've put all my mindset training in there as well, which is another 10 lectures. These are all the concepts and teachings I discovered from being a British paratrooper, and then I put that into the space of fitness. We're just building out the later stages of the cutting phase now. So obviously it's cheaper now for you to buy it because obviously we're building it out as we go. And then obviously it will increase a little bit once we finish the job. As I spoke about here, how to become the 2.0 version of you lecture sits in here. So if you want to come join inside, that'd be great. One thing you do get, which you don't get on YouTube, and this may be the most valuable thing, like you could join for a month, milk this, and then not bounce, which I hope you don't do because I would want to see you get the result. But as you see, I just post it here once a week, and this is the end of week one, really. I post a question, and then this is where guys have the chance to ask me directly, like specific questions about their journey. And then I respond with a Loom video. So you're not getting that on YouTube. So it's a bit more of a tight-knit thing. It's like the next level up for people that don't want my one-to-one, but want something a bit more structured that's going to get them to the goals. That was the reason why I created this. And then likewise, for those that get the result, obviously, they get to rock the Gorilla Platoon t-shirt, which is only not issued. You cannot buy this. You only get it by getting the transformation. So just thought I'd drop that in there. If you do want specifically me to take you through the full process and you want to join my main program that gets the results like the ones we spoke about today, that'll be the top link in the description as well. Thanks for watching as always. Keep striving forward. Go get that fucking six-pack. And we'll see you as we turn up daily tomorrow.